Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, what's happening? It's been increasing over the last 50 years since the beginning. The government has been getting bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekly morning show where we bring you the latest in everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the massive breakout that is coming very, very soon on Bitcoin. We got to get the water in, you know? Got to stay hydrated, folks. It's very important that you take care of your health. Number one lesson for today. What's the point of making a bunch of money if you're just going to go and die, right? You got to make sure you take care of your health. So keep the water on standby, not just coffee and crypto. Maybe we'll start the live stream Agua and altcoins, right? We got to keep that water on hand. Let's read some chat. I'm very excited today because Bitcoin hit a new all-time high yesterday. That's right. I shot yesterday's video at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was really behind. Actually, I shot the video the first time, and right now I'm just shooting them oneers. I'm just shooting the video straight through. I'm uploading like a 20-minute video. Don't pause, don't stop, don't collect my thoughts. I don't know if you've even noticed, but they're not even edited. We're working on getting an editor who has the kind of turnaround time that I need, because I need that video edited in like an hour, you know, and that's kind of hard to find. So, shot the video, got to the end of the video, 23-minute video, and Streamlabs says we weren't recording that whole time. So, that sucked. So, I ended up having to re-record the video. Yesterday at about 3, recorded the video. As soon as I finished saying in the video that Bitcoin is going to break out above all-time high between July 15th and July 31st, and between August 1st and August 31st, Bitcoin is going to rally to $118,000 to $125,000. Bitcoin pretty much immediately went ahead and did that. So I finished shooting the video like, let's see. Well, I suppose it was in this candlestick, actually. Yeah, I finished shooting the video like literally right here. If you watch yesterday's video, we were on this breakout. I think we were right there. And I said, Bitcoin's about to break out to new all-time high. And it happened like 20 minutes later. And that's very exciting because what happened yesterday is extremely significant. Bitcoin did actually hit a new all-time high. Bitcoin hit 112.55. Now, it's not much of an all-time high. It's not much of a new all-time high. But this was the first time that Bitcoin's price has ever started with 112 because the last all-time high was actually 111,999, and we hit and smacked our head on resistance. Something very exquisite is happening on Bitcoin right now. And I am just, it's got lightning deep in my bones, baby, because I'm so excited to share with you what Bitcoin is about to do. Can we get some hype in the chat? Can I see you guys saying hype in the chat? I want to see those 4 letters, hype, right? The four-letter H word, not that one, hype. I want to see hype in the chat. Hype in the chat for Bitcoin hitting all-time high. We hit a new all-time high. We're going much farther. Very excited about all of this. Let's read some chat. Got a lot of you guys here today. Alec, Louisiana is in chat. Said, yes, got a real good feeling. That's right. We've always got a real good feeling about Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the best investment in the history of mankind monetarily. Best monetary investment in the history of the world. Bar none. Nothing comes close. Nothing can beat Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the best investment that you have ever seen. Best investment you've ever had access to. Highest reward possibility. Lowest risk profile. Most guaranteed return on money that you're ever going to get. Jeb, that sounds like a Ponzi scheme. Well, normally that would be a Ponzi scheme. But Bitcoin is a $2.5 trillion juggernaut that is revolutionizing finance the world over, and it's not even close to done. Bitcoin's going to be trading at $10 million by the turn of the mid-century. By 2050, Bitcoin will be in the, not 7 figures, in the 8 figures. That's right. By the next 25 years passing, Bitcoin will add another 2, not 1, 2 decimal places. It's going to take it about 10 years to add that first one to get up to 10 million. That's going to happen around 2035. Around 2050, you're going to see Bitcoin trading at north of $10 million. I got a real good feeling about this, guys. 25 years for 100x, that ain't bad. You ain't going to get that anywhere else. not without selling a kidney or something. So let's stick with the good investments like Bitcoin, right? Philly Skills 1428, one of our mods and longtime viewers in chat. Good morning, Jeb and Crypto Fam. Good morning to you as well. Sean O'Brien is in chat. Storky in the Sun is in chat. Christopher Ryan said, hey, Crypto Fam, it's a good day. It is a good day. And we're going to see some fun stuff on stream day. You know, I was so disappointed. Bitcoin rallied up here to all-time high at 111,999. And I was like, honey, come here. And I got my wife over there and we're looking at the chart. And I'm like, watch, I want to show you what an all-time high breakout looks like. And then Bitcoin just did this number where it just kind of danced around and then corrected. I'm like, oh, come on. We're going to end up going through a major correction. Not a major correction. I'm sorry. We're going to end up going through consolidation for a couple of days. So hoping that she'll get to see that all-time high live breakout because you guys have seen it. I mean, it's a beautiful sight to behold, and there's a good chance it's coming today. Peter Liu in chat said, right now. That's right. ETH finally getting some traction. Seems coordinated, though. Ethereum's going to be fine. I'm not the biggest fan of the stablecoin that is Ethereum right now, but it's probably going to paint this big inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. And that inverse head and shoulders pattern is probably going to send Ethereum above all-time high. And by the end of this cycle, you'll probably see Ethereum trading at $7,500 to $10,000, which is a pretty handsome return from where we are right now. I hold some ETH, nowhere near as much as I hold Bitcoin. The main thing I hold is Bitcoin, but after investing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin over just the last few months, I am looking at diversifying a little bit more since I've gotten so Bitcoin heavy. So I'm thinking about taking some Ethereum positions. Tell me what you think. Should I put $10, $20, $30, $40,000 or so into Ethereum? What do you think? Should I buy a dozen Ethereum? Should I do that? Do that live on air? That'd be fun. Peter Liu in chat. GT Rocker in chat said Bitcoin slowly grinding up in a stair-step fashion. That's exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. That's what we're about to talk about here. These increasing lows. Bitcoin was using $100,000 as a floor. I'll just go ahead and kind of tee up our major topic for today on Bitcoin. Then we're going to talk altcoins because, like I said, I'm interested in the altcoins, right? I think they're going to do well. Bitcoin was just kind of sitting here, stair-stepping with the floor at 100K. After the attack on Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo in Iran by the United States B-2 pilots, those 7 B-2s, dropped 14 GBU 57 bunker busters on the site at Fordo. American destroyers launched Tomahawk cruise missiles on those other sites. That caused Bitcoin and global markets to drop quite significantly. But since then, Bitcoin has just been on one stair step after another. First thing we did is we solidified support at 100K. We fell below 100K for exactly 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours. We didn't even spend the whole day down there, guys. We stopped for lunch and we went back to the upside, and quickly. We rallied much farther, much faster than we had corrected. We dropped here, rallied there. You can see the difference between the starting point and the ending point. Shows extreme bullishness. This is one of like 50 signals that I'm showing you that shows you how extreme the bullishness is on Bitcoin. The major part of the corrective movement was right here. The major part of the rally was right here. We started the correction at 106,500. We rallied to 108,500. The bulls are strong with this one. That's right. And when Bitcoin went through its correction, we dropped down to 105 and set that as our new floor. Then just a couple of days later, we went through the rest of the ABC pattern right here. A, B, C, right? And we ended up coming back and back testing down to about 107. So you can see the floor getting higher. We had a floor at 100. We broke it a little bit, but we didn't spend long down there. Then we rallied all the way up, set the floor at 100. Then we set the floor at 107.3. Now what we're doing, after setting a new all-time high yesterday, now again, it's not a revolutionary new all-time high. It's $55, right? That's barely a new all-time high when you account for inflation. If you use January 1st of 2025's dollars, that's not even a new all-time high, or suppose 3 months ago, right? You're going to have seen that much inflation on the USD in the last 3 months. So it's really an equal top, more or less, when you account for inflation. But what's interesting is we're flagging here, and we're just setting a strong floor here at 110 grand. And even on the hourly chart here, you see Bitcoin coming back down, back testing the 1 hourly chart, 20D EMA, sorry, 20D 1 hour MA, right? 21, let's see if I can get this. I've only been doing this for 8 years. 20 1 hour exponential moving average. There we go. Got it. Sorry, it's a mouthful sometimes, guys. You know, you'd think I'd be used to this, right? Because I was going to go into astrophysics. I don't know if you guys know this. I was going to be Dr. McAfee, right? I was going to go into astrophysics. And sometimes I even think to myself, you know, I don't really need to work anymore. We're work optional at this point. You know, I could go get my PhD. What do you think? Drop a 1 in the chat if you think I ought to go spend the next 8 years of my life getting a PhD in astrophysics. My point is, astrophysicists are the king. They are the king of coming up with awesome names that no one knows how to pronounce. Like you got the supernova, you got the Kugelblitz, right? You got the quasar and the blazar. You got all these terms, right? You'd think I'd be used to this, but who knows? 21 hourly exponential moving average. Bitcoin is currently bouncing off of it, and you can see this curving up dramatically as a result of that bounce. Down here on the 1 hourly chart, even down here on the 5-minute chart, if we can sustain this reversal, which basically looks like a kind of like an inverse head and shoulders pattern. What's the term for that? What's the term for when you have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, but the right shoulder never forms? There's a term, and I'm forgetting what it's called, but there's a term for that. And it's very important because it also factors in bullish RSI divergence, right? You got higher lows on the RSI here. You got lower highs on the 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart's got lower lows. RSI 5-minute chart has higher lows. Extremely bullish reversal. Bitcoin dropped down to 110.5 earlier this morning. Lowest low that we've seen. We're back testing this little bitty low over here. If you're a trader, that's an excellent long signal, my friends, because that's basically a confirmation that you're going back to 112. It could be a fake out. It definitely could. It's possible, right? If you draw a ray right here, you can see that you have a downtrend here. But as you'll notice, at least on this 5-minute chart that we're currently watching, Bitcoin's in the middle of breaking it. So who knows if it's going to hold? I don't know. I think it might end up going through a big breakout. Very high likelihood that Bitcoin is just about to go through the next phase of the uptrend. Ever since, I was sitting on the couch with my wife saying, hey, sweetie, look, I want to show you what an all-time high breakout on Bitcoin looks like because it's fun. It's like fireworks. It's the most fun thing you'll ever see. Watching the line go up, right? That boing, the little green, it just goes up, and then it just eats up the order book. All those cells get bought up, and you just explode, right? It's a very fun thing to watch if you've ever seen it happen. And literally as soon as this candlestick came in, actually it was on the minute chart, so I'll show you the candlestick. We hit all-time high at 3:55, 5 minutes before yesterday's video went out. We hit all-time high at 3:55. At 3:57, when I saw this red candlestick right here, this one, boing, that one, I said, oh my goodness, okay, Bitcoin's going to have to flag out here. That's what I told my wife. We're doing, live technical analysis on my phone from the couch, watching the chart. And I said, okay, Bitcoin's going to have to flag out. We got this big old rally. We're going to probably flag out for the rest of the day at this point. And that's what we're doing. We're building a giant flag. Nothing to be scared of. There's nothing wrong with that. This is great news. I love it. Because what you'll notice, Bitcoin started this move, bottoming in at 107. Now it's ending this move, bottoming out at 110. Who's ever seen that chart of let me see if I can pull it up. Yearly lows on Bitcoin. Everybody's worried about what the new all-time high is. Take a look at this chart. You've probably seen this floating around the interwebs. Don't look at all-time high, look at yearly lows. These are the yearly lowest prices for Bitcoin. In 2025 so far, the lowest price that Bitcoin is witnessing right now is $75,000. And that's probably going to stay. Probably not going anywhere. So don't just look at the highs, look at the lowest price. Right now, the lowest price on Bitcoin is sitting here pretty at 110.5. Just a couple of days ago, it was 107. What does that say? That says that Bitcoin is locking in this gain. Now, we have a tool for this. Let's do a quick pop quiz. What tool do we use when we're trying to understand how much of the rally Bitcoin is going to eat up before going higher? Right, let me rephrase that. What tool do we use to measure the retracement of the market against the overall trend? Option A, Fibonacci. Option 2, we'll say fish, right? Option 45, I don't know, hacksaw? Like, come on, it's Fibonacci retracement. It's obvious. If you look at the Fibonacci retracement, something beautiful is happening. Bitcoin is hovering right above 110. Bitcoin is hovering right above 110 and is finding support directly in between 0.382 and 0.236. Now, if you were to adjust this and say that we're going to pull Fibonacci off of the actual breakout, which was probably right here, bingo. Look at that. It's beautiful. We got to pull the fib out, right? Pull out your fibs, guys. We're going to tell a fib here. Bitcoin started the rally right here. Boing. Started right there. The beginning of this rally was at approximately 108,000. Why are we not pulling it off of 107.4? Well, because after 107.4, we went into a rally and we flagged out here, and then we broke out of that flag, right? So we're going to pull off of the breakout, the bottom of the breakout. This is the appropriate way to pull the fib, and it also makes more sense because it actually matches the chart. We're sitting at the 0.382 level. Oh my goodness, it's almost like technical analysis has predictive power over the market. Why does it do that? Well, that's because technical analysis is a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's nothing magic about the Fibonacci numbers other than God hard-coded them into the universe to prove to you that he exists mathematically. But the reason that Fibonacci numbers are so important on Bitcoin is not because of some magic. The reason that they're so important is because all the traders are looking at them. When people were pulling profits off of this rally, guess what they were saying to themselves? They're saying, we're going to drop down to 0.382. That's 110,000. That's a big even. That's a 2% drop off all-time high. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go back into an entry, and then we're going to break higher. And what you're going to end up seeing happen overall is you're going to see an ABCDE, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually, Elliott impulse wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's still the fifth wave to come. Where's that going to go? Well, one of the easiest things to do would be to pull. We're getting into some deep technical analysis. You guys have been telling me for years, Jeb, you need to do more technical analysis. Shut up about the news. Okay, here we go. Let's watch it. Where is it? We're building a big bull flag right here. You can see the bull pennant. You pull that all-time high breakout. You pull the flag off of that all-time high breakout, give a price target. Where does it go? Oh, look, it goes to $115,000. Guess what? That's a new all-time high. And actually, 115 is very interesting because it's on its way to our August price prediction of $118,000 to $125,000. That's what we said in yesterday's video. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, go check it out. We made a price prediction. Let's see, I think it's on this chart. Yeah, it's on this chart right here. We made a price prediction yesterday that you're going to see Bitcoin trading at approximately $118,000 to $125,000 between the dates of the 1st of August 2025 and the 31st of August 2025. Sometime in the month of August, I believe that you're going to see Bitcoin sitting pretty in this box. I meant to post it to Twitter yesterday. I haven't done it yet, but we're going to end up posting that. You know what? Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do some live TA. Who wants me to post something live on Twitter, right? We're going to do it. Bitcoin's going here. Let's clean up the chart a little bit. Let's do some social media management together, right? Some behind the scenes work. Let's go ahead and clean this up. Show you guys me posting this on Twitter. This will be my call. I'm going to pin it. I could be right. I could be wrong. We're going to go out on a limb. We're going to use our analysis to the best of our ability. We're going to go out on a limb and we're going to say, yep, Bitcoin's probably about to do something just like that. Let's go ahead out to the 4-hourly chart. Let's get a price prediction. I think Bitcoin's going to do something like this. It's going to come back down, back test all-time high, and then it's going to rally into this zone between $118,000 to $125,000. Part of that is also off of the Fibonacci extension. If you look at the Fibonacci extension, you've got 1.618 sitting right there, pretty at 120 grand. Let's go ahead and take a beautiful picture here, guys. Let's go ahead and do this. Boop. And this is where I'm going to switch to full screen so I can pull stuff up because I don't want to show you anything sensitive where you guys can steal some crap from me because I don't really feel like losing anything to a hacker or a thief. We'll go ahead and pull that screenshot in here. Boom. Bitcoin official August Bitcoin prediction. 118 to 125K between August 1st and August 31st, 2025. Extrapolated off of fib extension from drop to 75,000, not 65. I wish it went up 65. I would have bought even more. $75,000 and from recent breakout data. Possible backtest of current ATH 112K after breakout to bullfrog. There we go. To the bullfrog price target. Bullflag price target of 115K from 1 hour chart. Boom. Official August Bitcoin price prediction. 118K to 125K between August 1st and August 31st, 2025. Extrapolated off of Fibonacci extension from drop to 75K and from recent breakout data. Fib extension provides 1.618 resistance at approximately at tilde, not exclamation point tilde, that's a mad tilde right there, approximately 120K. Also a big even. Boom. Possible backtest of current all-time high 112 after breakout to bull flag price target from 115K from 1 hour chart. likely large breakout above 112K, likely between July 15th and July 31st, 2025 or sooner. Boom. Putting it out there. For all of you guys who want to pitch a fit about, Jeb, I don't know what you're saying. Here we go. Pin it. It's on my Twitter. Go follow me, @CryptoJeb. That's our poll. That's our prediction. That's where I think we're going. I could be right. I could be wrong. I think I'm right, but we'll see. You tell me. Do you think that makes sense? Hey, look, we're live. Check this out. If you guys didn't know this, we go live on X also. So make sure to go and check us out over on X. Let's read a little bit of chat. We got a lot more to cover, guys, not just this chart. I love this chart. I'm so excited about this chart. I'm in a long trade. Man, if we drop back down and backtest all-time high, I'm going to be buying some there. Jeb, you're going to buy Bitcoin at 112? You dang right I am. Because I'm holding that stuff till $5 million. Bitcoin, I'm not liquidating at $1 million. I got Bitcoin at $3,000, guys. You think I'm going to liquidate at $1 million? Are you kidding me? No, we're going for the 1,000x. I have Bitcoin from $5,000. You guys bought CT2A back in the day at $5,000. Some of you guys paid 0.1 Bitcoin for CT2A. Man, that was an expensive product right there, right? I never let go of that Bitcoin. Never let go of it. That was 6 years ago. Thank you very much, Steak and Shake. You can learn something from us. Don't liquidate the Bitcoin into cash. Just increase your profit margins. I don't know how you're going to do that. I mean, that's kind of hard in fast food, right? But hold on to that stuff. You'll be glad you did. I got Bitcoin at $3,000 and $5,000. I'm not selling that stuff till it's 1,000x, till it's added three digits. 3 digits. We ain't selling it anytime soon. So are you going to buy Bitcoin at 112, Jeb? You're dang right I am. Absolutely I am. Someone said so cringe. Ooh, I love it. I love the hate. Oh, I feed off of it. I love that. I love that I have so much of your attention that you feel the need to say that. I think it's kind of cringe wasting your time on something that you don't like, but okay. All right, we got Yard Dog in chat donating $5, said prayers. Thank you very much, Rick. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, my buddy. Jack to Disco. Jack to Disco. That sounds like somebody's paging you to come out on the roller rink, right? Jack to Disco. I'm sorry. Cool name. Said, love the technicals today, Jeb. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I like your name. That's really cool. I bet you get that joke a lot. I'm really sorry. People think that my name is McAfee, like my last name's McAfee. So people make jokes about me either being John McAfee's long lost son, which is really funny, or they make jokes about me being McAfee from McDonald's. Let's see. We won't steal anything, Jeb. By the way, what's your seed phrase? The first word is go. The second word is jump, and the third word and the fourth word are a bridge. Go, jump. Oh, I missed one. Off. Off's in there too. Go, jump off a bridge. There you go. That's the 5 words. Oh my goodness. No, I'm just kidding, Tim. I know you're not trying to do that. Fibonacci. We got Satchet, Justin, Schmedley B, and Asta him getting the getting that right on the Fibonacci. Absolutely right. Don't reversals usually happen at Golden Cross? Short term, not long term. Sometimes. Good place to chart in Ethereum. Green on Lux Algo. That's right. Yeah, we're going to be looking at Lux Algo here in a minute, giving us some great signals. Been a while since I've been able to catch a live show, Jeb. Satchet said. Oh, I'm so glad that you said that. Just hit the disco and keep going. I love it. I love it. I love it. We got to run a poll. Then we're going to jump back onto the TA. Onto the TA. TA Sports. It's in the microtransactions. Okay, let's see. I want to get a poll up. How do I do that on my phone? Okay, I can't do it on my phone. That's lame. Let's go over here on a tube. I want to run a poll. I want to know what time, you guys can tell me in chat too, what time do you guys like the stream going live? Because I really want to, the stream to be going live at the very best possible time. And I am a little bit, I'm not sure when I ought to post it. You know, we've been doing 10 a.m. for a long time, but I don't know. Does that work well for you guys? What time should this stream happen? I'm going to give you 4 options. These are all Eastern. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 8 a.m., EM. Yeah, and 12 noon. When do you think the stream should happen? We've been doing it at 10 for years. But I love it. I'd love to know what you guys think. All right, we're going to jump back into technicals here in just a second. Let's just see if there's any other Any other major things? 50% of you saying 9 a.m. Interesting. Interesting. 0% of you saying 11 a.m. Wow. Okay. So for all of you who are saying 9 a.m., why are you saying that? So many people go live 7:30 from market open. Earliest the best. Makes sense. It is coffee and crypto. Yeah, I can front run everybody. Because a lot of people go live at 10 now. We started going live at 10 like 5 years ago, and everybody just jumped on the bandwagon and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to suffocate Jeb's stream, and we're just going to all go live at 10. So now everybody goes live at 10. Let's see. 46% of you saying 9 a.m. I don't know. It's going to be a little while before I can actually go live at 9 a.m. But I've been thinking about going live at 9 a.m., having the video go up at 10, and just trying to get everything done as early as possible. All right, I'm going to let that run for a little bit. Let's get back onto it. Bitcoin right now is looking absolutely phenomenal. It's looking absolutely phenomenal. Now, let's look at some other parts of the market here. Bitcoin on the minute chart having a correction. Interesting. We've got our, let's go 5 minute. Let's go 5 minute. It'll be a little easier to read. On the 5 minute, we've got this downtrend right here that Bitcoin broke bullish out of. Now we've corrected back down into it. This is interesting, and I'll tell you exactly why. The reason that this is so interesting, this move in just the last few minutes on Bitcoin, the reason that this is so interesting is because it shows that there's going to be a breakout soon. When you see Bitcoin wedged between two different trend lines, in this case, the downtrend and the flat level at 110.5, when you see that happen, generally what that means is that there's a lot of pent-up volatility, which makes sense because Bitcoin went through this massive, just enormous breakout just a little while ago, and you see that little volatile movement to the upside. Volatility is coming back. What have we been saying about volatility? Who remembers what we've been saying about volatility? On the 3-day chart, we talked about this on Monday. Today's Wednesday. We talked about this on Monday. We saw the 3 daily chart Bollinger Bands flashing a signal. Guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Like, we called this. We've been talking about this. People are like, oh, Jeb, whatever happened to 92? You guys realize for one day, when it looked like the United States was going to be in direct and open warfare with Iran, we said 92 for 24 hours. That was our call for 24 hours. Other than that, for the last 2.5 months, I have been predicting that Bitcoin would break all-time high. Not 2.5 months, but the last month and a half, ever since right after we rejected at 112 after the conference. Right at the conference, when J.D. Vance spoke, and J.D. Vance said he did not announce that the United States was ready to start buying Bitcoin in a budget-neutral fashion, such as by selling gold. We were hoping for that announcement. We didn't get that announcement. Promises made, promises not yet kept. Hopefully they will be kept, right? As soon as that happened, I was saying it the day of the conference, like in the next day, right? The day it happened, July 15th, July 31st, you're going to see a breakout above all-time high. Why? Well, a big part of the reason that we've been saying July 15th to July 31st, this is why I'm documenting this, because people give me so much flack, like, oh my gosh, yeah, what about that? We've been saying the same thing for like 2 months. Okay, this is not new. This is the same thing we've been saying for a couple of months. The reason that we've been saying that is because that's what the bull flag looks like. Bitcoin's in a giant freaking bull flag. That bull flag came here, bounced, attack on Nasfahan, Fordo, and Nantanz. Breakout to 135, baby. If you look at how large this left shoulder is, it's about 90 days long. How long is this left shoulder? About 60 days long. Well, gee whiz, if you fast forward to the middle, to the end part of July, you're looking at about 80 days. That's about how large the left shoulder was. It only makes sense that the breakout would happen in the second half of July. Now, it may be front-running us a couple of days, maybe happening a little earlier, but good for you. Christmas came a week early, whatever. This is so flipping obvious that Bitcoin's about to break bullish here. It's painful. It's like, oh my goodness, it doesn't get much more obvious than this. When Bitcoin's about to make its next big move and is finally breaking out of its range, it just becomes really obvious. If you look at the visible range volume profile, what do we got here? We have an enormous amount of VRVP support. Here at 104.5, we built all this VRVP support over here. Guess what we did? We back tested and bounced off of 105. We bounced off of the visible range volume profile. We've talked about VRVP. Who remembers VRVP? It's a mountain. You sit on top of the mountain, you got to decide, am I going to roll this way or am I going to roll this way? That's what VRVP is. Which way are we going to roll? We're going to roll up, we're going to roll down. It's like a mountain. You stand on top of a mountain, stand on the top, you got a lot of potential energy, a lot of potential to flip-flop and roll down this way, a lot of potential to break your neck on this side of this side of the mountain, right? And you kind of decide which way are we going to go. Well, Bitcoin, following the visible range volume profile, had a point of control up here in the $100,000 plus range of 105. Guess where it's going? It's rolling this way. And guess what? It's at the bottom of the hill. There's nothing here. We are sitting above the last major level of support on the visible range volume profile. Breakout is imminent, as in within days, above all-time high. A breakout above all-time high is imminent. The end of the visible range volume profile up here is at 110 because the vast majority of the trading happened down here. Bitcoin is now not only sitting above a bulwark of support between 90, watch it update, between 90 and 100, it's now also sitting between a bulwark of support between 100 and 110. There is a fat zone of support between 90 and 110 that is unlike anything Bitcoin has seen in a very long time. The next time you find fat support like that on Bitcoin is down here between 55 and 75. There's a $20,000 range of support here as well. This means in the bear market, perhaps we come back down to 75,000. That's the bottom of the bear market. That's what that means. That means the bottom of the bear market might be at 75K, right? So we called July 15th to July 31st being the time that we break out of all-time high. And like I said, we're going to start posting these calls on Twitter in writing and pinning them to the Twitter to show you guys what our calls are, right or wrong. If I'm wrong, we will own it. We will come on this stream and we'll say, what did we get wrong? Was this something that we should have gotten right? Or is this something that just something happened in the news and we had no way of knowing that this was going to happen? We're going to be posting our calls on Twitter at CryptoJeb. Follow me over there. You will see our predictions for the Bitcoin chart. I will pin them. I will make it very obvious what we think is going to happen. Right now, I'm very confident that Bitcoin's about to break all-time high. It's going to take a pit stop at 115. Then it's going to go to 118 to 125, somewhere in that range. And it might also take a pit stop at 120. Excuse me. I said take a pit stop at 115. I meant to say take a pit stop at 120 because there's the 1.618 Fibonacci extension up there. Right. So big breakout coming. So what does that mean for you? First of all, if you are like me, which for your sake, hopefully you're not, but if you're anything like me when it comes to Bitcoin, here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm doing this thing lately where I take my glasses off when I'm trying to make a point, and I kind of like it. You know, I look like I'm turning into Mr. Feeney. Who knows who that is? I'm turning into Mr. Feeney. I got to pull my glasses off to make a good point. Here's the point. If you're anything like me, when it comes to investing in Bitcoin, you don't really care whether you get Bitcoin at 110 or 115. You don't really care all that much whether you get Bitcoin at 98 or 110. You just don't. Because if you're anything like me, you know that Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million by 2035, and then Bitcoin's going to go to $2 to $5 million by 2040. I don't know that, but I'm extremely confident that that's going to happen. Cut that in half. 500K by 2035. 1 to 2.5 million by 2040. Cut my prediction in half. 50% reduction. That's a 5x in a decade. You're not getting that in the stock market. You're not getting that in real estate. Oh, but real estate cash flows. Oh, but this. Oh, but that. Yeah, that's great. What are all the big real estate guys doing? They're adding Bitcoin as a growth tech stock, basically, is what they're doing to accelerate what they're doing in the real estate. Buy Bitcoin, hold it for 20 years. It's going to quadruple, outpace the real estate, turn around and buy more real estate with it, right? Grant Cardone, big guy. You know, talks all the time about Bitcoin. You know why? You know what happened with Grant Cardone? Took him 12 years to figure it out. Somebody paid him for an event. I think it was 1,000 Bitcoin, something like that. It was 100 Bitcoin, 100,000 Bitcoin, something like that. He held on to it for like 12 years. I had no idea what it was. A few years ago, I was like, man, what is this? And he woke up to it and he's like, wow, this is worth tens of millions of dollars. Now they're buying a bunch of it. Dude loves real estate. Adding Bitcoin. That's what everybody in real estate's doing. You know why? Because Bitcoin's going to outpace real estate. Does it have cash flow? No. Could you take 10% off the top of Bitcoin, call it cash flow for the rest of time, and never hit the dollar value principle? Yeah, you could do that. I wouldn't recommend doing that right away, but you could do it. You could take 10% off of your Bitcoin for the rest of time, and most likely you will never, over a 5-year period, lose principal. Because Bitcoin is probably going to sustain a 20% continual average growth rate for the next 3 decades. So when you factor all of this in, the breakout to 125 is necessary to fit that narrative. It's necessary to fit the idea that Bitcoin's going to be at 300 to 500 by end of decade. It's necessary to fit that idea of $1 million by 2035. Are we going to see that? I think absolutely. 10 years from now, Bitcoin is still not flipping in gold. At $1 million a coin, Bitcoin still does not flip in gold. It's probably 40% the market cap of gold. with the rate that gold is growing, and it's not going to slow down anytime soon because people are still ticked off about inflation. They didn't forget about the fact that they can't afford to eat anymore, right? Gold's going to keep growing like crazy. $20 trillion market cap is going to look puny. Gold's going to $15,000 an ounce. You think I'm wrong? Go ahead. Write down what I just said. Gold, unless it gets completely demonetized by Bitcoin, will go to $15,000 an ounce. That's a 5x. $15,000 an ounce. It's coming. That's a $100 trillion market. If Bitcoin went to a $100 trillion market, take a wild guess at what the price is. $5 million a coin. You're also talking about losing 50, 60, 70% of the value of the United States dollar in the next 20 years, 25 years. And so a $100 trillion Bitcoin is actually more like a $30 trillion Bitcoin. That's only a 15x from here. It's easy. Adjusting for inflation, still getting a 15x. Don't listen to these people that are saying, oh, well, Bitcoin isn't an investment. Bitcoin's just savings because it's not actually that Bitcoin's growing. It's just that your dollar is losing value. The dollar has lost a great deal of value, but it has not lost 99% of its value in the last 10 years, where Bitcoin has 100x'd in the last 10 years. No, Bitcoin is massively outstripping inflation. It's growing way faster than inflation is occurring. It's not just a store of value. It is an investment, and it is the greatest investment in the history of mankind, financially speaking. So the time frame for 120, Saul Arredondo asked. Let's go right back over to our chart here. Time frame for 120, we're calling August 1st to August 31st. That's our prediction. Could be wrong. Very confident about that. You guys tell me, what do you think? I'm going to run another poll in chat. Do you guys agree with that prediction? Love to hear your thoughts there. Okay, 47% of you guys say 9 a.m. 32% of you guys say 10 a.m. 10% of you say 11 a.m. So you guys really don't like it when I get here late. That's good to know. And 11% of you say 12 noon. So it's 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You guys really like that time frame. Cool. All right, let's run another poll. Do you agree or disagree with our prediction on Twitter? Why or why not? Let's get some chat interaction here. Are you EST? Yes, we're Eastern time. Got to get that agua. Agua and altcoins, baby. Coffee and crypto. Agua and altcoins. I love agua. Let's see. Mid to late July, Saul. Yep, could see it. 50, 60, maybe even 80% drops may be a thing of the past. Bitcoin's maturing and smart money is in the business of large drawdowns. Bingo. Bingo. On the head. Actually, I'm glad you said that because that reminds me of something I wanted to talk about here. Looking at the visible range volume profile, where will Bitcoin go in a bear market? Because I value our Bitcoin portfolio a little bit differently than most. Here's how I value our Bitcoin portfolio. I take not the current value of the portfolio into account. I do think about that, and I'm happy about that. That's our part of our net worth. It's a huge part of our net worth. I have a lot of our net worth in Bitcoin, well over half of it, like probably 70, 80% of our net worth in Bitcoin. And I mean, we're homeowners and all that too, you know. And we paid for a car, you know, paid for a motorcycle, all the stuff's paid off, you know. Still have the vast majority of our wealth in Bitcoin. But what I do is I'm like, honey, here's the way that I think about this, right? Because my number one job is not to educate you guys, to provide for my family, right? I provide for my family while educating you guys, but you guys are not top priority. Newsflash. But what I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, sweetie, if Bitcoin drops 70% off of all-time high, I know the number like the back of my hand, off the current all-time high, that would be $33,600. Can you see Bitcoin going to 33.6? I can't. But if Bitcoin drops 70% of all-time high, here's the value of the portfolio. 70% reduction off of all-time high. If Bitcoin went to $33,600, here's what our Bitcoin would be worth. Wow, that's a lot. I know. Bitcoin will never see a 70% drop ever again. If it does, it's going to be like a 74% drop. 80% drops are gone. Mark my words, Bitcoin will never lose 80% of its value ever again unless the network's integrity is compromised by quantum computing or some other existential threat to its survival. So long as Bitcoin's survival is not being hindered or threatened, you will never see an 80% drop on Bitcoin ever again. it will never happen ever again until the end of the world and everything crashes to zero. So long as modern civilization, the internet, and the power grid continue to exist, Bitcoin will never drop 80% ever again. Jeb's a motorcycle guy? Yes, I am. I love motorcycles. Oh my gosh, I love motorcycles too much. I wheelied one back in 2019, spraying both my wrists. I had a big beard at the time. I scratched up my chin underneath my beard. It was really dumb. You gotta be really careful with motorcycles. I don't ride them much anymore. Probably will more so in the future, but right now I just got little kids, man. They need me. They don't just need me to like be alive. They need me to like, you know, toss them in the air and stuff. So I can't really go getting myself killed on a bike right now. But I do like motorcycles a lot. Once we hit a certain net worth, I'm not going to say what, but I will say this. We keep everything that we own on wheels less than 3 to 5% of our net worth. So once we hit a certain net worth, I'm going to be buying a blue Corvette C8. This is my dream car. I'm not interested in buying it right now because I'd rather have $60,000 or $70,000 in helmet. No, Pat's helmet. Yes, absolutely. I forgot. Hang on. I got to finish that story before I move on to the next one. This was the one time that I didn't wear my gear because I was riding in the neighborhood. That was really stupid because the one time I didn't wear my gear was the one time I crashed the bike. So if you're riding a motorcycle, here's some unsolicited advice. I don't care if I offend you because hopefully you'll not die because you're going to listen. Wear your gear every time, even if you're just in the neighborhood, because anything can happen. Anyway, this is the dream car. Blue Corvette C8 Z06. It's about $100 grand. Like I said, not buying this until it is less than 3% of our net worth. A little ways off from that. We're not quite there yet. We'll eventually buy this, but why would I buy a Corvette C8 right now when I could buy a whole freaking Bitcoin for the same amount of money? Like, why would I do that? Could I buy it? Yeah, I could buy it. Why would I? But one day, you don't delay gratification forever. One day, by that time, maybe the C9 will be out. I mean, what'll that be? Maybe another 5 years from now. By that time, the C9 might be out. But I do plan on eventually buying the Bitcoin Corvette. The Bitcoin vet. I'm not buying a Lambo. I'm not going to lock up 500 grand in a car. That's stupid. I would buy a Huracan or something if we were making like $500,000 a week or something. Now, I've made $250,000 in a week before, but that was a one-off week. That wasn't a normal thing. You know, we've normally averaged over the course of time, you know, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a week, not $250,000 or $500,000 a week. But those days are coming. Don't worry. But when we get the car, I will probably put a big orange, completely random blue sticker, orange sticker, Bitcoin sticker right there on the door. And it's going to look so strange. Shouldn't the Bitcoin vet be orange? That's true. That is true. The orange Corvette C8. That's true. They do have an orange. What is it? Oh my gosh. It's Amplify Orange. Is that what it's called? Amplify Orange. Maybe we ought to do that. Ooh, that'd look good. Maybe we ought to do that. Get the Z06. What do you guys think? That'd be fun. Got to take you guys on a gimbal camera down to the dealership. Watch us buy a Corvette C8. Right, we'll see. Not anytime soon. I got little kids, right? I got little rascals that need money more than a stupid car does. But one day we will buy the stupid car and we will shoot videos in it, and it'll be the most fun thing ever. One day. I'm only 24. All right, I'm not in a big hurry to waste all my money in cars and depreciate it so quickly. But also, it might happen. We'll see. Anyway, let's read the poll. Do you guys agree with this current price target? 80% of you agree. Must be on to something. Let's go ahead and end that poll. Appreciate you guys. Let's read a little bit of chat. Jeb, buy stream. Yeah. A used CA is around 50K. If you can buy a Z06, it's more expensive. Yeah, I would want to buy a Z06. For right now, I'm just not doing it. I'm 24, guys. Bitcoin's at 100K. Why would I put a $50,000 into Bitcoin? I can get another half a Bitcoin. Throw it on the pile. You know what the dream is? You get a 10,000 square foot mansion, full-time housekeeping staff, so you don't got to deal with that nonsense, right? On 400 acres in the hills of Tennessee, you get 50 Bitcoin, you build a nuclear bomb, like a nuclear bunker under the house with like a well dug that supplies it with water. You put 3 years of food in there, and you put 50 Bitcoin in a time-delayed vault that doesn't open until 2050. That's the dream right there. Heck yeah. Forget the stupid car. That's small fry business. That ain't nothing. I don't care about a car. I want the land. right? I want kids. You know, I love having kids. I love our kids. I love kids so much. My poor wife. You know, I'm not the one that has to carry them, so easy for me to say. But excuse me, I got a bit of a cough. But that's the dream. Nuclear bomb. No, not owning a nuclear bomb, a nuclear fallout shelter, right? Nuclear bomb shelter. Yes, orange, so much more interesting than blue. Maybe we will do that. Maybe we will. Feel like everyone knows number go up. BlackRock's dirty fingers in Bitcoin. Not everyone knows you can short / make money down. So why BlackRock slam it past previous cycles to gobble it all up? They might do it, but frankly, I think BlackRock understands that they don't really need to do that just to see Bitcoin go to 1 million. It's going to go to 1 million. I mean, Larry Fink, we got to pull the glasses off again. Boy Meets World reference, right? Got to pull the glasses off again. Larry Fink, Chief Executive Officer of BlackRock, said that Bitcoin's going to 700K. I'm sorry. When Larry Fink speaks, listen. You know why? Because he makes the market. BlackRock has Aladdin. They've got $11 trillion in assets under management. That's growing because of Bitcoin, by the way. BlackRock ain't playing around. If he says it's going to 700, he's going to freaking make it go to 700. Let's not forget how the ETFs happened. Let's not forget. Don't you forget what happened with them ETFs. Don't you forget. Gary Gensler was in office. You remember what happened? I do. Do you? Everybody had an ETF in filing. SEC was shooting them all down. Larry Fink walks in like a big hairy dude in the locker room and said, I want an ETF. And you know what Gary Gensler said? He said, yes, daddy. And then we got 13 ETFs before the first extension. They didn't even extend it, did they? I don't remember if they extended it. Larry Fink gets his way in Wall Street. He doesn't... Larry Fink is basically in Soviet Russia. On Wall Street. SEC follows you, right? Follows the Larry Fink. Larry Fink does what he wants. If he says Bitcoin's going to 700K, it's going to 700K. You know how I know that? Because he's going to send it there. Everybody's talking about Saylor. Nobody's talking about Fink. Fink isn't messing around, man. He's serious. Bitcoin's going to 700K. It's going to 700K. How do I know that? There's about 1,000 reasons why I'm confident of that. Larry Fink saying it's going to happen is one of them. That dude does not play games. He's freaking serious. If you watch documentaries and learned about that guy, how BlackRock started, dude was a big trader. You know, got in the algorithmic trading game early on. It's ridiculous. Dude owns Wall Street. That's his backyard, man. Wall Street, and at this point, Bitcoin does whatever the hell he says. But yeah, if he wants to crash the price of it to buy more, yeah, it'll happen. And guess what? That's fine with me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to follow him. You're telling me if one of the most powerful financial men in the world wants to crash the price to buy more because he knows it's going to go to $1 million, you should just sit there and complain, go, herder, you know, why? Why complain? Why complain? If Larry Fink sends Bitcoin's price to $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, great. Do what he's doing. Buy. Because why would somebody send the price of an asset south if not so they can buy more and send it higher? Oh, well, he's going to short it. Larry Fink is not dumb enough to short Bitcoin. You know how I know that? Because he used to short Bitcoin. He used to say that Bitcoin was stupid. He hated Bitcoin. And you know what Larry Fink realized? He realized I'm the most powerful dude on Wall Street, but Bitcoin is the most powerful asset in the history of mankind. Fink tells Gensler what to do, and Bitcoin tells Fink what to do, because nobody tells Bitcoin what to do except God Almighty himself. Fink can manipulate the price of Bitcoin, but he can't stop it. He might short it in the short term, but even Larry Fink himself cannot hold down Bitcoin's price because Bitcoin has more buoyancy than any other financial asset in the history of the world. And so if Larry Fink did crash the price of Bitcoin and shorted the crap out of it, you know what you ought to do? You ought to do exactly what he's doing. Buy the dip, expand your time horizon, and quit getting upset about the fact that these people are manipulating the market. Just play their game. Accept the fact that you're not the whale. I'm not the whale. I've got more Bitcoin than most people in the world. Like, I mean, there's probably only about, I did the math. There's probably only about 50,000 to 75,000 people in the world that have more Bitcoin than me. It's probably less than 100,000 people in the world have more Bitcoin than we do. I still can't manipulate the market. I'm not that big. I'm not Larry Fink size. He can manipulate the market. Oh, hell yeah, he can. So what do? Do I throw up my hands and say, up yours, Larry Fink? I want to manipulate the market. Well, then let's go get 50,000 Bitcoin and manipulate the market then, right? Like, as if it was that easy. What Larry Fink can do is he can manipulate the market to make money. All you got to do is copy trade him. Just copy trade him. Okay, sure. So Larry Fink, Sailor, whoever. Let's say they want to manipulate the market and crash the price. Fine. Just copy trade them. They're not doing it to lose money. Nobody who manages trillions of dollars of assets. And by the way, Larry Fink is way more powerful than Michael Saylor. Not even close. Not even close. Saylor's a small fish compared to Fink. Fink's in charge of $11 trillion of assets. Saylor's in charge of $60 billion. It's not even close. If Fink or Saylor or Trump or anybody wants to crash the price of Bitcoin to buy more, just do it. Just fine. Fine, crash the price. I'll just wait 5 more years. So what? I am currently holding Bitcoin that is up over 20x. I will, in my lifetime, if I live long enough, watch that Bitcoin be up over 100x. You can too. Don't get so caught up in the hating the billionaires game. Don't hate the player. Don't even hate the game. Play the game. You want to be a billionaire? Act like one. What are the billionaires doing? You're dang right they're trying to crash the market. You know the exchanges had something to do with crashing them. Every single last one of them. You know the exchanges have something to do. They make money whether you're long or short. Long or short liquidations, they make money. The fees, you pay the same amount of fees for long or short. They don't care. Duh, they want to crash the market. The 4-year halving cycle is not just because of the halving. That's just the guise to cover up the fact that exchanges and big players in this game want to buy Bitcoin on the cheap. The smart money was buying Bitcoin at 15K. That's what they were doing. They're trying to shake out the weak hands. So if Bitcoin goes through a big correction, do what the rich people are doing. Buy more of it. All right, so that's the main thing right there, right? So let's read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to look at some altcoins. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Coincidentally, BlackRock owns 700,000 Bitcoin. Yep. And that's going to hit 1 million before you know it. They're going to be the first Satoshi. They're going to hit 1 Satoshi before long. Of course, that's not all their Bitcoin. Remember, they're an asset manager, but they have quite a bit on their own. Newsflash, nobody in this chat is a whale. Doesn't mean we can't swim with them. No, there are a few whales in this chat. I know some of them. Some of you guys got millions and millions and millions. I mean, I had one dude. He literally wrote the book on investment. He wrote a book on investment. Like the 4 Ps, something. The guy calls me up on financial coaching. He's like, Jeb, I got $25 million in Bitcoin. And I teach that if you're going to have an investment, it ought to have passive income. Bitcoin doesn't have passive income. So you know what I did? I dumped $2 million into Bitcoin miners. Okay, then. Nice. He's just down, not far from here. Right? And like, oh, okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of you guys in the chat that are got lots of money. We got some big people following us. Always looking for the game theory 4D chess blessing/curse. Beautiful car it is. Cracked my helmet in half. Saved my life. Helmets are the best. Yup. That's right. And then BlackRock will dump all their Bitcoin and then you'll get yours dumped. Yeah, but then they'll buy it back. If they did. But the thing you've got to remember, this is something people forget about BlackRock. BlackRock does not own the Bitcoin. That 700,000 Bitcoin is not BlackRock's. It's their clients. They're an asset manager. They manage assets. They've got, how much does BlackRock themselves own? How much? I want to say 50,000. I want to say 50,000. Yeah, BlackRock controls about 600,000 Bitcoin, but that's not how much they own. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to find because everybody's so interested in what they control. But that's not their exact holdings themselves. I would estimate they hold 50,000 Bitcoin themselves. They don't hold 700,000 Bitcoin on their own. That's their investors. All right. Let's read a little bit more chat. All right. So, by the way, guys, I want to give you a big announcement. We have made a decision. I've made a decision. Sovereignty. This whole idea of sovereign ownership. What is sovereignty? It is the idea of owning something, of being in control of something. And I try and follow that methodology everywhere I can in the cryptocurrency space and in our business. Anywhere I can go to find out whether or not I and you guys have control over something, I go there. And so here's what I did. I looked at our courses and I said to myself, there are two problems here. I'm just going to peel back the face and be totally honest with you. I don't like the subscription model, the $147 a year for CT2A, the $104 a year for FSA, for two reasons. Number one, it does not make sense from a business perspective. But more importantly, number two, it's not sovereign. You guys are renting access to the videos, and then you lose them. Something that people have always loved about CT2A is that you buy it, and then 8 years later, you can go back and continue learning about technical analysis, and you can keep getting access to new videos. And so I realized my mistake. My mistake was that I had been charging an annual subscription for CT2A and FinSov Academy when that's not the way the pricing model should have been set up. It's a course. You don't subscribe to your university. You pay for the course, and then you get the course. You learn what you learn. You keep the materials, then you move on. And so I realized that this was a messed up way of doing the model. We've been trying to build, and this all started with Club DeFi back in about 2021. I'm not going to say who, but we got some really bad advice from some people. And if you'll remember, I stopped selling CT2A back in 2021, 2022 area for $3.99. And that was a really dumb decision because the product was working really well. Made a lot of sense financially, made a lot of sense to you guys. You guys loved it, getting access to like 60 videos and getting to hold on to them forever. And then I got some advice that we should launch Club DeFi for $25 a month. And we did that, and you guys hated it. And I've been scratching my head for 4 years why that product didn't work. And you know what I finally realized literally yesterday? I realized yesterday the reason that you guys didn't like it was because you didn't own it. Because you weren't sovereign over it. Because you didn't have lifetime access. When we launched Club DeFi, I swore up and down I would never sell a lifetime product ever again. And that was one of the biggest stupid mistakes that I ever made in this business. And I repent. And so here's what we're doing. We're bringing back CT2A for $5.99. Lifetime access. If you have the annual plan right now, you will get access to CT2A for the rest of that time. And it might grandfather you in where you could continue paying the subscription. But at this point in time, the only way that we're going to sell CT2A is lifetime access. $5.99. Why that price? $3.99 was starting to become a really big discount back in 2021. We've also witnessed about 50% inflation since then. So this is basically just an inflation adjustment charge. The things that you're going to learn in CT2A are going to propel you so much farther ahead in technical analysis than any other course in the game. CT2A has over 4,800 students and has been active for almost 8 years. If you want to know how well it succeeded, this award up here is presented to Jared McAfee and the Bitcoin Academy team for crossing $1 million in sales. CT2A has done over $1 million in revenue, about 1.125. And the reason for that is because it works. The reason for that is because it is the best technical analysis academy in the game. There's nothing better. Here's why CT2A is something that you should purchase. The reason is because your time is valuable. Man, when I launched CT2A, I was a single guy, no girlfriend, was like, man, I'm too ugly. I'm butt ugly. I'm butt ugly. I'm going to be single forever. I had all the time in the world. And you know what I realized? I realized that that's not most people. Most people look better than me. Most people got a wife. Most people have a kid. Now I have a wife and kids, and I have no time. And you know what I don't have time to do? I don't have time to do what I did back then, which was watch YouTube videos 12 hours a day. I don't have time to watch videos 12 hours a day. What I do have time for is for a structured academy that will teach me, I'm recovering from a cold, that will teach me everything that I need to know in one place, step by step, having my hand held so that I can learn a skill. The reason that courses work and the reason that the university system is so large, there's a lot of problems with it, but the reason it works, the reason that online courses work, the reason that structured discipleship and mentorship have worked for thousands of years is because you can teach yourself something. But if you have someone hold your hand, you're going to get there 10 times faster. Think about it like this. I have spent over 10,000 hours in my life learning technical analysis. If you did that work for $15 an hour, you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars just working at McDonald's instead of learning TA. I can teach you what I've learned in technical analysis in less than 20 hours here in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Support and resistance, depth charts and stop limits, how to set up and use different exchanges, right? RSI divergence, MACD, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci retracement. The more important concepts like mass psychology, bull and bear markets, market structure, how to plan and execute profitable trades. This is a really big one. A game of statistics and probabilities, risk and reward, all these different factors that we use when we're doing technical analysis are here. And I'm going to be expanding this course. I realized that for the last 4 years, I've made a really big mistake, and that is that I have not leaned into my calling in life, which is being a teacher. I know that I am called to be a teacher. And I also now realize that the one-time lifetime access pricing model is the way to go. And to celebrate the re-announcement, the relaunch of the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, where you guys get to be sovereign owners of that product once again. That's been gone for 4 years. It's back, and there's going to be a lot of content coming to it over the next many years. Not done anytime soon. We're going to be launching sister products on fundamental analysis, on-chain analysis. To celebrate that launch, we have launched a coupon code. And that coupon code is very simply JEB20. Literally, that's it. JEBB20. You're going to get 20% off at checkout when you sign up. Now, what I do need to do really quickly is give you the updated description. I need to update the description because we've got that coupon code already linked. Let me show you really quickly here. Drop a 1 in chat. Who's gone through CT2A? Who remembers it? Drop a 1 in chat if you went through CT2A and loved it. It is and was and forevermore will be the best technical analysis academy in the entire game. Nothing comes close. All right. When you use the link in the description, you'll have to refresh. But when you're using the link in the description, it will bring you to the checkout page. Let me just make sure there's no sensitive information here. I don't think so. Nope. It'll bring you to the checkout page of the Financial Sovereignty Academy with the course Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy with coupon JEB20 already applied. You're going to get $120 off. You're going to get it for $479. You're not going to get it for less than that. The reason you're not going to get less for less than that is because it is worth it. This is lifetime, one-time purchase, lifetime access. And there will be a lot of new videos coming into this product. We're going to be putting a lot of content, a lot of focus into here. I'm going to be putting a bunch of new videos in here about technical indicators, a lot of new things I've learned over the last several years. So if you have not already signed up for CT2A, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do so. All right, let's read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to keep it moving here. By the way, on a side note, we'll talk more about this another day, but the Financial Sovereignty Academy, I've also decided to make it into a lifetime access. This is $299. This is our personal finance course to teach you how to have financial peace and financial sovereignty in your life. JEB20 will also work. You can get that for 20% off for about a week. I'm going to run that sale for a few days, and then we're just going to keep putting content in there, and we're going to keep building it out. We're going to redesign the website. I'm going to put new videos in here. There's a lot of stuff coming, so stay tuned. A lot of cool things coming to the Financial Sovereignty Academy and the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. Okay. Follow the millionaires. Absolutely. All right, let's do a little bit more technical analysis. Let's look at our favorite altcoins. Here are some of the altcoins that I'm looking at right now. Ethereum. Ethereum is in the process of building what looks to be a massive, and I do mean a truly massive inverse head and shoulders pattern. That inverse head and shoulders pattern looks a little bit something like this. It's basically been building the exact same pattern the entirety of the bull market. We double topped up here at approximately $4,000. We're currently rallying. If we stop out at 4K again and we triple top up there, that's okay, because that gives us a high likelihood that we'll end up setting a new all-time high up here towards $7,500 to $3,000. $7,500 to $10,000. And we could easily see a right shoulder form on this uptrend. We could easily see the right shoulder form on this uptrend right here. If we look on the log chart, though, you also have another uptrend, which looks like this, and you could see the right shoulder form somewhere a little bit higher than that, right? So probably up around $2,500. There are a lot of reasons to be bullish on Ethereum right now. The most important one is that Ethereum has built an enormous amount of visible range volume profile support here in this range between $1,500 and $4,000. We built a massive bulwark of support that Ethereum will forevermore have to, well, support it. Ethereum, when alt season comes, will likely rally above $4,000, probably back up to all-time high. And $2,700 is not a bad entry in my opinion. I do highly recommend that at bare minimum, 50% of your portfolio is in Bitcoin. 50% of your cryptocurrency portfolio is in Bitcoin. But what I do also recommend is diversification. Solomon says, and we'll go ahead and have this be our verse of the day. Let me pull this up. Been showing you guys some investing in money verses recently. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. You can try and argue with the Bible. You are what is known as wrong. It is a good idea to have some level of diversification. That doesn't mean that you will over-diversify into 100 investments. No, this doesn't say into 100 investments where a great increase in one of them has little to no impact on your portfolio and you can't manage them. I commonly in financial coaching teach people, if you don't know what the investment does and you can't explain to me where you think it's going to go, sell it immediately. If you are not sovereign over Bitcoin, or over your investments, then you should not have it, right? So you should have a little bit of diversification. Not too much, not too little. It's okay to be all in on Bitcoin, but that's a highly volatile position. I personally hold about 10 to 15% of our crypto position in altcoins. And then I also hold about 10 to 15% of our overall portfolio in the stock market. We are very heavy on Bitcoin, and I'm okay with that. Part of the reason for that is that we started in Bitcoin, and then we've been diversifying since then. So those other portfolios have grown starting later, and those other portfolios grow slower because Bitcoin has a higher growth rate, right? But it is a good idea to be diversified. And if you're going to diversify out of Bitcoin into anything in crypto, the most obvious thing to diversify into would be Ethereum, right? And so very excited about Ethereum. We hold Ethereum. I've been holding Ethereum for a long time. We bought some Ethereum back down here at sub $200. Like you can't even hardly see it. It's right there. We bought Ethereum right here. I was dollar cost averaging 2 Ethereum every day there for a while, right? Bought 2 Ethereum every day. Ethereum absolutely exploded, right? Up 2,700%. And Ethereum doing another 2,700% return is unlikely, but you are most likely going to see a big rally on it. And I do think that you're going to continue to see the higher lows coming into play here. I do think one day Ethereum will have a low of probably $5,000 to $10,000, and that'll be a solid low. And all that's kind of contingent upon how well it is adopted in the long run by DeFi. But DeFi is shaping up to continue using Ethereum. And so I do highly recommend some investments in Ethereum if you are going to be investing in altcoins. Ethereum still holds $70 billion of the TVL of the $120 billion that is in DeFi right now. It has an enormous amount of the market capitalization, mainly because Aave, with the lending protocols, has $27 billion of TVL, and the vast majority of that is on Ethereum. In fact, all of that's on Ethereum. And then you've also got the other chains where there's a lot there. But Lido, right? $25 billion. EigenLayer, Binance staked Ethereum, $8 billion. When you look at the utilization of United States dollar Tether, right, in the last 24 hours, Tether fees have made $20 million, right? PancakeSwap's made $10 million, right? There's so much growth going on in DeFi, and a lot of that is taking place on Ethereum. So very excited about Ethereum. But then again, you also got to look at Sol, right? Solana's doing very handsomely as well. Solana's doing extremely well. $8.94 billion in TVL. Very big deal. So if you want to get into the alt space, what I highly recommend to start with is simply start with Ethereum and Solana. And the reason for that is because you're going to capture, therefore, a basket of the DeFi space. You're going to capture, if you buy Ethereum and Solana, you're going to capture a huge swath of the DeFi space. If DeFi is totaled at 120 billion and you've got 70 billion on ETH and you've got 9 billion on, or call it 10 billion on Sol, that is 80 billion of the 120 billion in those two projects. You've got the slow moving Ethereum that is it's going to underpin the portfolio. It's a little bit like buying bonds, if you will, in your stock portfolio. And then you've got Sol over here. Sorry, Ethereum is the slower one. And then you've got Sol, the faster moving horse, more risky, but potentially higher upside potential. You're going to see an alt season, but it's not happening yet. And so you do have an opportunity to prepare for that alt season. I'm going to be honest. I got so disenfranchised with altcoins, I came this close to selling them. I Came this close to selling all of them and dumping them all into Bitcoin. I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't. I've got some good positions, and I'm very excited about them. There's going to be an alt season, and we're going to continue showing you more data we're going to continue to show you more data on when we think that's going to happen. I'm going to be doing some more on that. Yeah, so an alt season is coming. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're way over time. We got to wrap it out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, one last thing you can do is you can come on over and check out 2Bit. 2Bit is our exchange partner. Doing my trading over there, loving 2Bit. Great exchange. If you haven't signed up already, you can sign up, complete a couple of tasks, and you can earn $130 right away and up to $30,000 in rewards when you deposit and trade. Sign up for 2Bit right now. When you sign up for 2Bit, you're going to get a $50 USDT welcome bonus. And if you do $1,000 of trading volume, you're going to double that bonus up to $100. And then also just by depositing $100, you're going to get $30. So right there, deposit $100. Do $1,000 of trading, open a 10x trade, close the 10x trade, you got $130. You just made $130 for nothing. Sign up for 2Bit. Use it as your trading platform. It's got a great user interface, lots of support, $14 billion a day in trading volume, almost 4 million active users. And when you sign up for 2Bit, you're going to be helping to support the channel while getting access to the best cryptocurrency exchange in the game right now for perpetual futures and for spot, for trading bots, for demo trading, for all of it. It's the best place to set your home up in the crypto space. So if you haven't already, sign up for 2Bit with the link in the description box down below. Awesome. Anything else? Check out this sale, CT2A, 20% off, Jeb20. Right now, we're going to call that going through, let's call it Monday. That's going to go through Monday. So stay tuned for that sale. Very excited to see you guys learning more in CT2A. All right. Let's read chat for just a little bit, and then we're going to wrap it out. Alt season coming. Everyone gone. Macro ABC correction on alt. Send it. Link. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I love you very much. And before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.